Alrighty, hello everyone. So we are back for the second video of the series, or second episode of the series. And today we're going to basically get all the prerequisites installed on the Exchange server itself. And then we're gonna basically get mail flowing between two users. And then that's gonna basically stand up the Exchange server itself and kind of show you how one is set up and how a on-premise Exchange is set up inside of an environment. It's not going to be exactly just like it, but it's going to be kind of sort of how one is set up. We are using Exchange 2016 for this, but since we're using Exchange 2016, we can build upon this and we can try to migrate over to or upgrade to Exchange 2019 so y'all can see how that kind of goes too. So let's not waste any time. Let's just go ahead and get started. Last video, I do not believe I was using an RDP session. I just did RDP for complexity and things like that. So what I did was to enable RDP. If you're using an ESXi environment or something, you don't want to use a VMware tools or anything like that. If you just right click on this PC, properties, advanced system settings, and then you go to remote, you can just allow remote connections to this computer right here. And then this way we don't have to do it anyway through a group policy or anything like that. Just a simple lab environment setup real quick, and then you can always build upon it and do group policy configurations and things like that for RDP permissions. So first what we need to do is, what I did was we're going to need the Exchange 2016 ISO. So basically what I did was I put the ISO at my domain controller in my sysvol folder, and then my Exchange Server 2016 ISO is right here. It is outdated, but it's for labbing purposes only. So I will put this in the description so y'all can get this ISO. I might put it somewhere, I'm not too sure yet. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to our Exchange domain, our Exchange server. We're going to go to DC3, which is my domain controller, sysvol, and we're going to copy this to my desktop. So paste. And this should go pretty quickly because it's all locally on my network. We're not having to go through any other networks or anything like that. So while that's doing that, one thing we do need to do, and this is for labbing purposes, just to make the workflow go a lot easier and stuff, go ahead and create a Active Directory account, which we did in the other video. We created Brad Williams, and I believe we created Jake Williams. Yep. So Brad Williams, what I did was for him, I added domain admins, enterprise admins, and schema admins, because when we install a Exchange environment, you have to prepare the schema and things like that. So for labbing purposes, real world might be set up a little bit differently, configuration a little bit different. So we just add domain admins, enterprise admins, and schema admins. So once that is done, first what we're going to do is we're going to switch back over to our Exchange, and here we go. Now we have our ISO. So we're just going to put this in the corner for right now until we actually need it. So first, one of the prerequisites we need is the latest .NET framework. So .NET framework install. So we're going to download the 4.8 version. 4.8 runtime. We're going to run this. And a lot of y'all might be wondering, why is it using Internet Explorer? It's just for labbing purposes. I tear down VMs all the time, reinstall VMs, things like that. It's all for labbing purposes. We don't have to use Chrome or anything like that. Alright, so we click yes for this. It's just going to extract our files. And for some installs, I'm going to stop the video and then just come back to you all because we don't want to be sitting here watching paint dry or anything like that. So once this .NET framework is done installing, I will be right back with the next steps. Alrighty, the .NET framework is still installing, but that's okay because we can actually go ahead and run some PowerShell commands that we're going to need for this server. Don't worry, you're not going to have to manually type these PowerShell commands out. I am going to paste them in the YouTube description itself. So we're going to run PowerShell as administrator. And basically this is one long command of all the Windows features we're going to need. Press enter. This is going to go through, get all the data, install it, and things like that. But I'm not going to basically bore you all with 80 minutes of just watching stuff install. So I'm going to just go ahead and I will be back once this installs and the .NET framework installs, and then we can continue next with the next installation. Alrighty guys, I am back. As you can see, the .NET Framework 4.8 has been installed. We're going to close that out. We're going to restart later because there is other stuff we have to install. So just to save a little bit of time, we're going to do this later. As you can see, all the Windows features have installed. Restart needed is no. Success is true. Exit code is success. We are on the green light for all of that. And so for the next thing that we have to do is we're going to install the API.4.0. So if we just do that, for my reason IE is much slower for me, I don't know why. We're going to download the API 4.0 runtime. We're going to run it. And then this is, definitely not going to take 30 minutes. So once this installs, I will be right back and then we can continue with the next one. Alrighty guys, I am back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go install the C++. 64-bit version, next. Allow once. And while that's doing that, we can do a PowerShell command that we're going to need. We're going to run this. Come on, IE. I agree, install, yes. Alrighty, so that's done with that, and then we need to open up PowerShell again as administrator. And we're going to do the following command, the ADDS. And if you all want to, you all can definitely search out what all these features do. But I mean, in a real environment, a lot of times if you're going to be doing this or updating Exchange servers and stuff, you're just going to be copy and pasting. There's no need to type everything out, just copy and paste. This should hopefully, I don't have to stop the video, this should install pretty quickly for us. And while we're at it, we should not need Internet Explorer anymore for this to download anything off the website. So as you can see, a restart is needed for this, but that is fine. We don't have to do that right at the moment because we need to still restart for .NET Framework. Let me get our next command that we're going to need. Let me close. For some odd reason it's not copy and pasting. I'll close out of it and reopen it. Copy. There we go. and we're going to enable these. And this should go pretty quickly, I'm thinking, hoping. Actually, while that is starting, we can go and copy the next PowerShell command and open up a new PowerShell window. Run as administrator, always be on the safe side. So a restart needed. Yes, that needs a restart too. There was actually no change. That was being necessary. Alright, do you want to restart this computer to complete this operation now? We're going to click yes because we're done installing everything from PowerShell and from websites. So we're going to restart that. And what we can do is we can do cmd. We're going to ping exchange 101-t. Looks like it's back up maybe already. Maybe not, it's going to time out here. Yep, so we're going to get a few timeout requests, but after a minute or two it should be coming back up. And if anyone new in IT is watching this or anything, a lot of time people think a restart and a shutdown is the same thing. It's actually not. So to do a proper restart, you don't just shut the laptop or PC down. You would basically right click the start button. This is one way. There's multiple ways to do it. Shut down or sign out and then just do a restart. Alrighty, so that server is being responsive now, so what we're going to do is, nope, we don't need that. We're going to connect back to it. This is where kind of the longer part takes, I should say. So we have our Exchange ISO on our desktop. So let's go ahead and run this as administrator 2. And we're going to cd. cd is change directory. What did that say? Oh, updates. Yeah, we're not worried about those. So now we're back here. What we need to do is we're in the root of the C directory. We need a cd to users. Now we're in users. If we type in dir for directory, you can see this is our directory inside of users. We need a cd to Brad. And just say if this was Brad with just say 20 Ds, instead of typing them out, you can just press tab and it will auto-complete for you if there's only one similar type of name. So now we're in cd, we're in the Brad folder. So if we do another dir, you can see now we have our contacts, desktop documents, that's fine. We're going to cd to our desktop. And now you can see we have our Exchange ISO. And all we have to do for that is just to mount it, just type EX tab, and there you go. So now it's mounted and it's on our E drive. So you can technically just set up, but we're going to do it from the command line. So cmd again, run as administrator. And we're going to type E to change to the E directory, which is where our Exchange ISO lives. And our first command is we're going to prepare the schema. And this does take a little bit. This is the lengthy part of the installation process. So I'm going to go and let this complete, and then I will be back. Alrighty, so that is completed now. It's saying Exchange Server Setup operation completed successfully. So now what we're going to do next is we're going to create the organization name, and we're going to accept the Exchange license server terms. Complete with that. Also, just to note, on the updated versions of Exchange, there's a command. I forget the exact syntax, but you have to basically put like _ turn diagnostic data off or something like that. That does not apply for this one, but if we were to update to like Exchange 2019, it would definitely apply. And on a server 2016, from my understanding, you cannot install Exchange 2019, so we would need to update the server to Exchange to server 2019 too. But I mean, those are definitely for future videos and stuff, but we're going to just go ahead and let this complete. And your organization name, that can be anything you want it to be. I just did my domain name for labbing reasons. But I will be back once this goes ahead and completes. Alrighty, so that completed successfully, and one of the last things we need to do is we need to go install the modes, the mailbox, and basically accept the Exchange license terms again. This one, at least in my lab environment, it's pretty lengthy time-wise to install all this, so once this is done, I will be right back again. So actually the setup failed because for some odd reason, I guess the API 4.0 did not install. But sometimes I do like this because it brings some real-time troubleshooting. And no, I did not sit here for 10 minutes just looking at these errors, seeing what was wrong. Once these errors fired, I basically started this video right back up again. So let's go back to that API 4.0 website again. I thought I did install it, but I guess I did not. Definitely downloaded and then it went away. You know what? I really don't remember initiating the install after it downloaded. So maybe that was it. Run. Alrighty, once this is done, I will be back and I will make sure we definitely install it this time. Okay, so we are back and this is about finishing up now. Running the security scan, okay. Yes, we wanted to make changes, okay. We can close this out. Next, you know what? I really don't remember doing this. We probably never even installed it. I think when we had a box like this, it was for the .NET framework, not this. We can exit out of IE. All files verified, that's good. Hopefully this doesn't take too long so I can just keep the recording going. Cool. Okay, finish. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to hit the up arrow on the CMD prompt and we're going to try to install this again. If it works, I will be back. If it does not work, I will also be back. Alrighty, talk to y'all soon. Alrighty guys, we are back and everything has installed successfully. As you're doing this, you may have noticed about a send connector with an address of asterisks. Mail flow to the internet might not work properly. We're not worried about this because we're not setting to the outside of this lab environment yet, so we're not setting just saying at yahoo.com email address or anything like that. We're specifically only setting between two users within inside of our domain. Since this is a lab environment and I've had difficulties getting this to work with an alternate DNS server, what we're going to do is we're going to basically take away our alternate DNS server. Close that, and you might see this in a few seconds go to a little yellow symbol saying no internet, but that's fine. So let's go ahead and give this bad boy a restart. We will go ahead and restart that and we will try to ping ping-t one exchange 101. Wait for this to come back up. Come on, you can do it. There we go. It's coming back up now. RDP. And later on in the series, we're going to create like custom DNS records. So basically, the webmail, the Exchange server, the ECP, Exchange Admin Center, they're all going to be custom URLs that we're going to set. So we're not using the localhost, and you'll see what I mean in a couple minutes. This might take a few more minutes to load up because we are successfully having Exchange installed on it. Yeah, as you can see, this thing's freaking out right now. Let's just go ahead and open up the server manager. Make sure all the services are running okay for Exchange. Anytime you see the loading bar at the top here, I wouldn't recommend clicking on too much because it can start freezing stuff and things like that. Then you see we have 8 services that have not successfully started yet. User okay. So that's fine. So we do have going to give this another refresh, see if any more services start for us. Now you see here over here we have the Exchange Administrative Center. So as you see here, we're going to the local host, which we're going to change that eventually, but not in this video. Okay, so we are going to do Brad sysadmin / Brad password. Try this again. Possibly because of the services not starting. So let's just go ahead and start this. Microsoft Exchange Notification Broker. Here we go. So now that's running. You can go ahead and close this out, refresh this, back to here. Okay, what is going on? Let's close this out, let's redo this again. This should definitely be working. See, it keeps trying to redirect us, which is what I don't like. Let's copy this. We're going to delete the browser history. Didn't do this before. That's why. Hold up here. So we can ping our domain. Get our domain ping. It should be able to, because it was just... Okay, that's fine. That's good. See, it's going to OWA, and I do not want OWA. I want the Exchange Admin Center. Alright guys, I will be right back. I gotta figure out this issue real quick, but I will be back. Alrighty guys, we are back a day later. I had to do some things yesterday and just take a break. But I finally did figure out what the issue exactly was. Basically, I set up a test Exchange server attached to this domain control, attached to the domain that the actual Exchange server we're on. So we have Exchange 101, which is the, I guess we could say it's a production one. And then I did, in the background, didn't record it or anything, I set up a test one for testing purposes. And basically when we tried to go to the Exchange Admin Center website, it was trying to redirect to that test server, and that was actually off. So it wasn't able to redirect anything, which is why we got that HTTP 500 server error message. But while doing my research and things, the way that I did figure that out was, if I just connect to this Exchange Management shell real quick. This command right here. So this basically told me that hey, you can't connect to that test box because it's not online or anything. But now when we run it, we should be able to see us connecting to it. Yep, so there's my test box name, and we are able to get to it. So with me running that command, that's when I found out, hey, something's not right with this. And I'm very sorry for not recording this, but on the back end, what I did yesterday was I already created the DNS records, so I told you all that we would create the DNS records for the custom names, custom URL name I should say, in a later video, but I decided just to do that now. So if we go and pull up DNS, I'll show you all how I did it exactly. So right now we're on our domain controller. And what I did was I created two forward lookup zones. So I did a autodiscover.mail.com, which is usually in environments, and then I just did a exchange.mail.com. So the way I did that was, and as you can see here, that's not the one, this is the one right here. I just did a record for our IP address to our Exchange server, and I did the same here. And all this does is basically it directs us to that website. So when we do the forward lookup zones, if we right click forward lookup, we do a new zone. We hit next, we do a primary zone to all DNS servers, and then we do the zone name. And that's whatever you want the zone name to be, so we'll just do test for right now. And then what I did was I said do not allow dynamic updates, next, and then finish. And then once you hit finish, that's when you'll get that new zone. And basically to add the A record that I was talking about in here, this one right here, if you just right click the zone, new host A record or quadruple A record. Quadruple A record I believe is for IPv6. So we just want to do a new host, and then we want to type in the IP address. Leave the name alone because you're getting the FQDN already from the lookup zone from when you type in. You're getting that from when you type in the zone name. So what, I'll do one for example, exchange.test.com. Next, do not allow dynamic updates, next, finish. So that's when you got your exchange.test.com. And then once you're in here, new host A record, put in your IP address of your Exchange server. So we'll do 192.168.8.105. And then you just click add host. I'm not going to do it because I've already did two of them. And you can learn about auto discover if you want on your own. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. So I'll delete the exchange.test for right now. Okay, yes, done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our Exchange server. And actually, you know what? On our domain controller itself, I'm going to show you all something that happens with Active Directory. So we're going to go to a new user. And you see here we got our test one, and then this is the production one that I'm doing the videos on. So we're going to create a new user, and we're going to name it Dave Williams. Dave, next. We'll enter the password. Okay, user cannot change password. Password never expires. Next, done. So, as you can see here, there's no email in here. But watch, that's going to change soon. So when we go back to our Exchange one, we're going to open up Internet Explorer. And we're going to type in that exchange.mail.com/ECP, which is Exchange Admin Center. So obviously there's a security certificate error. That's fine. We haven't did any certificates or anything like that. So this is our domain/username. We'll put in the password. Sign in. And then boom, now we get to the Exchange Admin Center much quicker. Wow, look how that works when a server is powered on. But what we can do is we can click the add user mailbox. So we're going to hit click, and it's done different in every single company. This is just testing purposes. If you're going to do this in your company, make sure you know how the company does it themselves, so you don't mess anything up on your end. So what we can do is we can search for, oh, it's already right there. So this is Dave, and this is the OU that it's in. So once we click OK, it basically will take everything. You can put in an alias if you want. There's no really need to. We're doing existing user, so all these other boxes are going to be grayed out basically. You can put in a special database, archive, address book policy if you want to, if you have any. And we're going to click Save. So now we have the Dave mailbox. And basically, we go back to Active Directory. We're going to refresh this, refresh. Now watch. See how the email's now in there? It automatically gets populated from that exchange. So if we click cancel out of this, actually, you know what? Click cancel, close Active Directory. So now we're back on our Exchange server again. We go and open up a new tab. We do exchange.mail.com/OWA, which is, I believe, abbreviated for Outlook Web Application. This should take us to, it's going to automatically sign me in. Yes, continue. Still working. And it should sign me in as Brad, I believe, but I'm not exactly sure. Yep, so it signed us into the Brad account, but that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to sign out of here. Sign out. So now we're back on the Outlook. And what we're going to do is we're going to sign in as Jake, password 123, sign in. So now we're signed in as Jake. So we got the 2 test emails. As you can see, I did one Tuesday, 9:22 p.m. And then today I did one at, I think this was yesterday, maybe. Yeah, today at 5:15 p.m. But we're going to sign back out of that, and we're going to sign in as Dave, the mailbox we just created. And when we log into this one, it should ask us for our time zone and stuff. Maybe not. Yep, so it's going to ask us for the language, English, and then our time zone. We'll just do Eastern time because that's where I'm located. I know this server's not on Eastern time, but we'll do Eastern time. What we'll do is we're going to go and open up another mailbox. So exchange.mail.com/OWA. Continue, yes. Now we're signing in as Dave. No, we're going to sign out. And we're going to sign in as Brad. Okay, so now we're signed in as Brad. What we're going to do is we're going to take Dave and we're going to create a new email. We're going to send it to Brad. Search directory. Boom. Brad Williams. Test. Test. Send. There you can see 7:37 p.m. That's because we're Eastern time. We go over to Brad and we just refresh this. Did we send it to Brad? Hold up. Maybe it hasn't came through yet. Who did we send it to Brad? Okay. Probably a delay. Let's log out and sign back in. Maybe that's why. Microsoft Exchange, notification, broker. That's probably why. Come on, service. We might have to restart this server. Might have to restart it. Yep, we're gonna have to restart the server, guys. Shoot. Okay. Let's go ahead and restart the server. Restart. Continue. Close out of DNS, CMD. These ISOs used to be really fast for me, but now they're not. See when this box comes back up. Okay, the box is back up. For some odd reason, this box takes really slow to load up. I don't know why. Don't know why. We're running an old Exchange cumulative update ISO. We're not running the latest and greatest, or one of the latest and greatest things. There we go, now it's running. These are manual delete start, that's Always good to check out services, guys. Restore session. Come on, restore. Should have downloaded Chrome. Screw you, Internet Explorer. I'm not dealing with you anymore. And who do we send that to? We sent that email to Jake, I believe. Crazy how fast you can forget. Did we send that to Jake? I think we actually sent that to Dave, I believe. Losing my mind. Alright, let's go and open up another one. Okay, new email. We're going to send this to Dave. Test. And send. Says it's sent. Come back here. Or refresh. Why did it switch to Jake? Sign out. That's why I hate Internet Explorer. Nothing's still in here. Oh wait, inbox 1. Hello? Well, it's definitely here. Let's clear our browser cache. It definitely looks like it's in there. Oh, 8 services. Is it down again? I hope not. There we go. There's our Jake Williams.